In today's video, we're going to be looking at the VN Commodore, the first of the second generation, to the very last, the VS Series 2. And today we've got the VN Calais and the VS Series 2 Calais out, just to have a look at the differences. Styling wise, obviously it evolved. Front guard, the whole front end was restyled for the VR, which carried over to the VS. The front windscreen and the roof line remained the same all the way through for VN, VP, VR and to the final VS. The doors were carried over. On the models there was various versions of the drip molds and also the center door mold, but essentially the doors were the same, the roof line was the same. Visually, the A pillar, B pillar was the same, but the B pillar was reinforced strength-wise for the VP. From the rear, the two models look vastly different. The VN seems to look a bit wider, whereas the VS seems to look a bit taller, more metal. The roof line is the same. The glass on the rear windscreen though on the VS is shorter. The Holden badge work on both models updated over the years. This was updated for the VS, and you've got the original VN Calais badge, and this is the Calais badge that carried over from the VP. Let's move to the rear quarter panel and the rear opera window, which was styled differently for the VR and VS models. They slanted it upwards to give a more curved appearance, and it also meant that the boot line could be higher and the C-pillars a little bit higher as well. Just to demonstrate the differences, I've stuck on an old VN hockey mold. You can see the straight line that would have been for a VN, and I've also put a bit of masking tape on the wheel arch to show the line of the straight wheel arch that would have been on a VN. Show the vast difference there. Even though it's minor, makes the car look quite different, but it also makes the VS look a lot higher on the wheel line compared to a VN. You can't compare it to the VN on the other side there though, because that is lowered, but as you can see here, it's pretty much in line with the wheel, and that's without the car being in drive. It does drop down further, so VS's generally look higher because of the rear wheel arch. The VN VP rear windscreen drops down further to the boot line for another inch or so over the VR VS. They're not interchangeable, VN VP to VR VS. Let's take a look inside. So this is the VN Calais, had a 4-spoke steering wheel. Console design from the VN did carry over all the way to VS, especially for the basic models. This one's got retrimmed seats, so they're not original, but they are sort of the original style. The trip computer also carried over. Door trims, the design was very similar for the basic models, but on the VS that we're going to have a look at now, you'll see it's a bit different. Bottom half of the dash is essentially the same. The power windows, the buttons never changed. Got dual airbags on the VS, top half of the dash is redesigned. The 1988 VN Calais trip computer and instrument cluster design continued all the way up until the VS in 1997. The hand grip and handle design remains the same. With the VS, it's obviously got the more luxury version of the door trim over the standard models. The door handle design remained exactly the same from VN to VS, but they did become metal on the VR and VS to the plastic ones on the VN. Grip molds, they evolved. These were the standard items on all VNs at the time, except the SS and the HSVs, they had painted black ones. Then when you went to VP, it moved to a more similar design to this, but non-chrome on the standard models. The door mirror design carried over from VN to VS. Front windscreen, already mentioned that. They're identical and interchangeable. The front end, the VS does look a bit more sleek. Probably looks a bit more narrow than the VN, to be honest. Both had unique front ends with their own unique grills and two-tone treatment. For the VS Series 2, the silver dropped down quite low to the sill line, whereas for the VN, it followed the paint-out design for the first Calais from the VK, all the models right to VS Series 1, which was the center crease line. Holden was running 15-inch by 6 diameter wheels for all models up until the VS Series 1 Calais, but for the VS Series 2 they increased that to 16x7. This is the back of the VN console, same air vents, same center lid. This console basically carried on all the way through to VS, especially for the non-luxury models, because in the VS Calais, over here you can see the rear looks the same, but it is lined with the style of the console that came out on the VQ Caprice and Statesman VS version, so it does look different, but underneath works the same console that was used on the Executive and Berlinas. Let's have a good look around the cars. You can see the styling differences. The lines on the rear taillight were one of the last things Holden locked in design wise. They were playing around with them as much as they could to try and make the car look as wide as they could. They knew they had to compete with Falcon. Another reason why they left the straight wheel arch, they did have a curved one design. They left the straight one because it also made the car look larger when they had people reviewing the cars. So everything was based on size. They wanted to make sure they were competitive for the Falcon. If you're new to the channel, feel free to check out the other videos on these two cars. I've got one recently for the VS Calais Series 2, and I've also got a couple of videos on the old VN that you see right here. When the VN came out, we thought the headlights were quite sleek, but the VS and the VR is even smaller. They're probably the smallest headlights Holden's ever made. They just got bigger from here on, and they're also the last glass headlights on the VS. The VT moved to the plastic as well. I hope you enjoyed today's video with my VN Series 1 Calais and my VS Series 2 Calais. I often refer to this VS as my VN Series 8 because it is really the 8th update of the VN. That's a wrap for this video, everyone. Thanks for watching. Feel free to check out the Back in Time photo series, and there's heaps of other car videos as well. See you then.